How much stock do you actually need to make consistent money reselling? Because there's two types of beginners. Ones who are too scared to buy anything in case it doesn't sell, and the ones who are buying way too much inventory than they actually need. It's now taking over their lives and their bedrooms. Both of these types of resellers are stuck. Today I'm going to give you the real numbers, the real maths, and the actual method. Hi Fleek family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button and turn the bell notification on so that you never miss when we post. This video is all about how much stock do you need when you start reselling. In part one, we're going to talk about the two buckets. Split everything you already own into two separate buckets. Bucket one is your active stock. This is basically your stock that's clocked in on Vinted, Depop and eBay. Bucket two is your backstock. And this is everything that's sitting in a bag or a box or in a garage. And this stock is unprocessed, it's unlisted, and it's making you no money at all. Most beginners think that they don't have enough stock, but what they actually have is a backstock problem. They've bought things over time, but they've just not listed them yet. And your active listing count is the only number that matters for sales. Part two is your real limit is listing time. Before you think about how much you actually want to buy, think about how much you can process and list within a week. Volume means absolutely nothing if you can't process things fast enough, so that means your descriptions, listings, measurements, and pricing, and get them up online. Realistically, if you're a beginner reseller and you've got 2 to 3 to 4 evenings free per week, then you might be looking at listing around 10 items within that week. And maybe you'll be able to pick and pack 5 of those sales. And that's your capacity right now, and that is absolutely fine because it will grow over time. The biggest reseller mistake that I see is resellers buying 80 items to only list 10 a week. And you'll be drowning in stock before you've even listed your first item. Depop sellers who are doing this full time as a full-time job usually list around 150 pieces per month. That's roughly around 35 to 40 items a week. They have a system built with it and behind it. And that is something that you will build over time too. Something to note is you're not going to start here as a beginner reseller, but you're going to build to there. So this leads me now to part 3. What is my starting number? So what is the actual number that we will start with as a beginner reseller? I started with 20 to 50 items when I first started reselling and I opened Retro Clothes Shop. And that is where I tell every single beginner to begin with. It's actually enough to make your shop look credible. A shop with 5 listings looks abandoned, but a shop with 30 listings looks professionally curated. Plus, it's actually small enough to get everything listed without burning out. And not just that, but it gives you real data fast. You'll see what's getting views, you'll know all of the data so that you can then reinvest back into the right stock. And not just that, but you'll also be able to see what has not sold. For your first order, whether it's a Fleek wholesale order, a charity shop run, or a car boot sale haul, try to aim for around 20 to 30 pieces on that run. And make sure that you get every single one of these pieces listed before you go back out and buy more stock. Don't make this mistake that I did, so make sure that you list everything before you buy more. Then the data from that will tell you what to do next. And if you're looking to buy vintage wholesale stock, then look no further because we are Fleek Vintage Wholesale. Fleek is essentially a wholesale marketplace app where you can choose from thousands of different bundles through hundreds of different vendors, and I can guarantee you that they'll have what you're looking for. You can pick whether you want to shop through the exact bundle filter, the representative filter, or handpick your stock where you can. And the best part is Fleek offer a quality control check on every single order. If you are already reselling or you've thought about reselling and you want to take your business to the next level, then wholesale is the answer. Fleek is great because there's items that you won't be able to buy in bulk through charity shops and car boot sales, but on Fleek you can do that, just paying wholesale prices. There is a link in the description box below with a discount code that you can use on Fleek on your first order today. Download the app today and let me know how you get on. Which now leads me to talk about part 4, which is your sell-through rate. This is what most beginners will never talk about, and it changes everything. This is your sell-through rate, and that is essentially just the percentage of your items that sell within a month. I track mine roughly every single month and it tells me what I should buy and what not to buy. And here's the maths. Let's say you have 50 items in stock. 15 sell in that month, that means that you have a 30% sell-through rate. Now you know that roughly a third of your stock is going to turn over every single month. That's your data. If you want 15 sales a month, then you need to list 50 items a month. If you want 30 sales a month, then you need to list 100 pieces a month, and so on and so on. This formula is so simple, and it's one that every single reseller uses. Essentially, it's just your sales target divided by your sell-through rate will equal how many pieces that you need to list every single month. This will also tell you why buying more stock is never the answer. If 5 of your 50 items sell, then that's a demand or listing quality problem. So you'd need to fix your photos, fix the description, and relist the item if you can. Definitely relist those slow movers that have not gone anywhere and tweak the price. Buying more stock on top of dead stock is a problem as a reseller. Part 5, which is avoiding the death pile. The death pile. Everybody knows this term in reselling, and if you've never heard of it before, essentially it's a pile of clothing that stacks in the corner of the room or your studio or your garage, and it just stays stagnant there. This essentially is unlisted, unprocessed stock that is making you no income whatsoever. And this usually happens because buying stock feels productive. A Fleek haul, a charity shop bag of stock, basically any vintage bag of stock that you can get your hands on feels like progress. But if it's not listed, it's taking up space and time and energy, and it's making you no money. My rule for reselling is to never ever let your death pile or your back stock be more than what you have in active stock. So if you have 50 items listed and 80 items sat in a bag, then please stop buying stock. Instead, sit and list what you already have. A listing session in the afternoon or the evening will make you so much more money than a sourcing trip ever would. Just start buying with intention. So know what your buyers are looking for, know what's on trend, what is appearing on Depop's and Vinted search pages, on the explore pages, and also look at your own data. What is actually selling? Buy more of it. Stop buying stuff that just looks good on the rail, but nobody actually wants it. Which is a perfect moment now to transition to talk about part 6, which is cash flow and reinvestments. There's no universal reinvestment rule that works for everyone. Mine varies month to month, but here's a framework that you might want to write down. In the first few months of beginner reselling, your goal or your target is to get your cost price down to at least £0 or £1 where possible. So that could even look like selling your own clothes first, meaning that you can reinvest enough profit, the maximum profit, to buy better quality stock. And this means that you can actually fund your next order without touching your savings. Here is a rough example of what this could look like. If you buy a piece for £5 and it sells for £25, then you might be walking away with around £16 after your fees and when you take out the cost price of the item too. Put £5 to £8 back into as a reinvestment fund to buy more stock. That way then you're self-funding and that will compound quickly. But here's a few things to avoid when doing this. Spending all of your profits back onto buying more stock when your back stock is already full, aka the death pile. A reseller who's moving 30 fast moving pieces will always outperform a reseller who's got 200 pieces that are not moving at all. Cash flow beats volume every single time. Which is a perfect opportunity now for me to talk about an ebook that I've just launched called The Retroverse. And if this is all clicking for you right now and you want the full picture, sourcing, pricing, photography, listings, and a 30-day roadmap to making your first sales and your first £1,000 in sales, then I've written all this information inside my ebook called The Retroverse. 150 pages, and it's everything I know within the last 5 years of starting my reselling business. I've made over 5,000 sales across Depop, Vinted, eBay, Whatnot, Poshmark UK, and real-life events. There's also my full supplying list that I use to buy all of my stock online. The book is also partnered with Fleek, so that you've got my full supplying list and a £25 off voucher inside there to shop on Fleek today too. I started reselling with £1 and I bought a pair of burgundy trousers. I sold them for £25 on Depop, and the rest you can say is history. I actually did this with guesswork. I had no idea what I was actually doing. And that is the main reason why I wrote The Retroverse, to give others something that I only wish that I had when I first started reselling. It is $24.99, but if you do use this code on the screen, you'll get £5 off the book whilst we're in launch phase. I'll link everything in the description box below if you want to go and download it today. So to conclude this video, start with 20 to 50 items. Maybe start with your own stuff that you don't wear anymore, as that is zero investment. List everything before you buy more stock. Track what sells and then scale what works. And that is it. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really hope you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn the bell notification on so you never miss when we post. We'll see you in the next video.